Hey everyone, I know you're tired of missing those crucial shots in the heat of battle. I totally understand because I've been there before. But fear not, because in today's video, I'm going to show you how I transformed my aim from a terrible noob level to pro status. We're diving into key aspects like crosshair placement, finding the best settings, and effective training drills. Without wasting any time, let's dive right in. Alright, step 1. Make sure you're playing on a device that can handle over 60 frames per second. Now, I've heard a lot of people say this, but let me assure you, you're not out of luck. I know players who do just fine with a steady 30 FPS. While having a good device definitely helps, your skill can compensate for any device limitations. So, don't worry, you're not out of the game. I just wanted to mention this first because I know some people might bring it up in the comments. Alright, when it comes to settings, let's first look at some general tweaks that should apply to everyone. Firstly, head over to Settings and select Advanced for more options that'll give you more control over your game. Now let's leave the upper part, as it's more about personal preference. Scroll down to More Options. Firstly, turn off Aim Assist. I know many of you might think, but Knox, if our aim isn't good, how do you expect us to play without Aim Assist? Trust me, it's important for training. If your aim assist is on during training drills, you'll struggle to improve. Then, for ADS rotates the camera, switch it off unless you don't use gyroscope controls. This setting can mess with your aim, especially if you're aiming and shooting simultaneously. But if your ADS mode is set to tap, you won't face this issue. Now let's talk sensitivity. It's super important for aiming. I won't go too deep into this here, but if you want a deep dive, I've got another video on it, link in the description. Quick tip for gyroscope users. Always calibrate it after updates to keep your crosshair centered. Now, about the death range setting. What's that? Well, it's like a safety zone where your device doesn't react to tiny movements. Adjusting it helps fine-tune your aiming, depending on how steady your hands are. If you've got shaky hands, lower it. If you've got steady hands, you can crank it up. Personally, I set mine at 70 because even though I've got pretty steady hands from using gyroscope a lot, I still panic sometimes. Moving on to graphics settings, your POV is a personal preference, but I recommend setting it between 80 to 90 for a wider range. It helps you track fast-moving enemies more effectively. Personally, I've maxed out this setting because, after trying different options, I found it worked best for me. Alright guys, now that we're done with settings, let's dive straight into crosshair placement. Always do your best to keep your crosshair at head level when moving around or when shooting at someone to increase your chances of scoring headshots. Then next, try to master pre-aiming. When moving around corners, anticipate enemy positions by listening for footsteps or spotting them. For example, in this clip, I predict the enemy's position and pre-aim where I expect them to be. This gives me the upper hand in the engagement. Also, aim tracking. Try to practice smooth and controlled crosshair movement for precise aiming. One way to do this is by training on the practice ground, switching your aim between different targets and taking shots. Another method is gradually tracking moving targets, switching between them every few seconds. Alright, let's go to the next point and break down weapon recoil control. It's super important for keeping your shots accurate, especially when things get intense. Here's the lowdown. Firstly, try to understand recoil patterns. Different guns kick in different ways when you shoot them. Spend some time getting to know how your favorite guns kick, so you can learn how to handle it better. For example, this is the difference between the recoil patterns of the SCAR and AK-47. They're totally different. Secondly, burst firing. Instead of holding the trigger down non-stop, try shooting in short bursts. This helps keep your shots accurate by stopping the recoil from getting out of control. I use this a lot, especially when I'm shooting at enemies far away. If your gun starts shaking a lot and you lose your aim, just stop shooting for a moment, then start again just immediately. This helps reset the gun's recoil, especially since it's usually more manageable at the start. Then, recoil compensation. Learn to counteract recoil by moving your crosshair in the opposite direction of your recoil. So if your gun kicks up and to the right, gently move your crosshair down and to the left while shooting. And remember, turn off aim assist. Relying on it too much can mess with your aim. It's all about having control in your own hands and mastering your aim. Always use weapon attachments. Attachments like grips or compensators can help you control recoil better. Experiment with different ones to find what works best for you. And if you're not sure how to build your loadout, check out the video and text guide in the description. Always grab your best loadout guns as soon as you can, because using guns that suit your style can really boost your aim. Check out this example. My crosshair's right on the enemy, but the shotgun isn't built right, so it's not landing the shots. Alright, now that we've covered the essential techniques for improving your aim, let's talk about practice routines. Consistent practice is key to mastering any skill, and aim is no exception. Here's how to structure your practice sessions effectively. Start each practice session with a warm-up routine to get your muscles and reflexes primed for gameplay. As you hop on the game, go into the training grounds first, and just go through different sites just for the feel. After that, head into some hot zone to dial that aim in. But let's go into the details for the drills. Set aside time for specific aim drills designed to target areas where you need improvement. This could include practicing headshots only, adjusting to different ranges, or focusing on specific weapon types to improve your overall aim proficiency. Now, like I said, BloodStrike doesn't have the best training facility for now, but there are certain things you can do to improve your aim. Firstly, when it comes to aim tracking, what should be coming first in your head? Landing the first shots. First shots are crucial just to give you that advantage over the enemy. Now, to train your aim tracking and getting those first shots, get into the training ground and equip a Desert Eagle or a sniper. Then move across each target and try your best to hit each of them as fast as you can. And no, don't leave your scope open, close and open it, as this will also help you train your crosshair placement. Next drill we'll look into now is the Flickshot Practice. Incorporate Flickshot Practice into your routine to improve your ability to quickly acquire and eliminate targets. Use scenarios that require fast target acquisition and precision, aiming to hone your flickshot skills. Now, flickshot can come in two ways. The one that shotgun users do, or the one that everyone should be doing when it comes to close range. First, let's look into the first one, so it's basically opening your scope quickly, and as soon as it opens, you release the fire. Very simple. Meanwhile, the other one, which you should be doing, is spamming your scope button like this. But I know you're asking, what's the use of that? If you have your aim assist on or not, and someone is moving quickly across your screen, you can simply spam your aim towards the next direction of the enemy, and it would just relock your scope on the enemy, so spamming it would just keep relocking the aim back to back. Now, let's talk drills for hip firing. One of my favorite drills is perfect for these situations. Just head over to your control HUD settings and move your scope to somewhere you can't use. For example, I'll move mine here. Then jump into hot zone matches and only use hip fire. This helps you improve your hip fire aim, which is super useful in close fights. Try doing this for 3 to 5 matches each day, and you'll see yourself winning more close battles. Now, let's look at movement drills for aiming. Firstly, an important exercise is to practice strafing while shooting. Strafing is basically moving your joystick left and right while shooting and centering your aim as much as possible. So try shooting at as many targets as possible while strafing, as this would create a more in-game scenario. The importance of strafing is basically to avoid as many bullets as possible that the enemy is shooting at you. There are different types of strafing, but I'll go into them in the movement guide. Another efficient training drill is jump shooting. Basically, there are 3 different ones. The first one is hip fire and jumping, the second is slide jumping and aiming, and the third one is jumping while aiming. The purpose of the first and the third one is to give you more chances of getting headshots, while the second one is to help you either dodge bullets and center your aim quickly on the enemy, or help you when going around corners.
To practice each of these, as for the first one, hip fire while jumping, go to the training ground and jump while shooting at each target. But keep in mind to strafe too, as this would make you appear harder to hit on the enemy screen. Then for the second one, just slide jump, then try getting your aim on the bot continuously, while as for the last one, when your scope is open, be jumping and shooting at the same time and be strafing too, moving your joystick side to side. The third one is the most complex but best to use in battle, although I can't really make use of this one as my HUD is set in a way that my jump and scope buttons are at the same angle, allowing me not to do it smoothly. Now take time to do some review and analysis. After each practice session, take time to review your performance and identify areas for improvement. For example, if your aim wasn't the best with 4x or 6x scope, then play more with it and work on it, instead of just giving up completely and using shorter range scopes that'll affect your gameplay in long-range fights. Also, record and watch back your gameplay footage for your training sessions for both training ground and hot zone. Analyze your aim accuracy and make note of any patterns or habits that may be affecting your aim. Consistency is super important when you're trying to get better at aiming. Instead of just doing practice every now and then, make it a habit to practice regularly. By sticking to these practice routines and making them part of your gaming routine, you'll see your aiming skills get better and better over time while you play. All right, legends, that's a wrap on our aim improvement guide for BloodStrike. Remember, becoming a sharpshooter takes time and dedication, but with the right techniques and consistent practice, you'll be dominating the battlefield in no time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more BloodStrike content. And hey, if you have any questions or want to share your own tips, drop them in the comments below. Until next time, keep aiming to achieve your best potential and keep gaming. If you reached this point in the video, let me know by dropping those W's in the chat. It's your boy Knox, signing off.